Well, welcome back to the channel, everybody. All right, I cut out most of the graphic stuff. Might be a little bit of blood, a little bit of cleaning and everything, but this is the processing of all 30 meat chickens that we had raised. Wanted to go a little bit longer than what we did. This is like 7.5 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. We were getting ready to go out of town, didn't have anybody to take care of them, so we went ahead to go ahead and process them. I'm not going to show actually killing chickens, just kind of processing them. The way I have it set up is I use two traffic cones. You do have to trim the tip of the traffic cones a little bit just so the head fits all the way down through. Makes it a little bit easier. I didn't want to spend the extra money to buy the hugging cones or whatever they call it. This seems to work pretty good. After they're bleed out for a couple minutes, we got my water at somewhere around 150, 160 degrees. You can go hotter if you want to, you just don't want to go too hot. You can see where I just pull that little bit of skin off of the foot. If the skin's pulling off there, you know you're good. I found it easier because I don't have a actual plucking machine. Put them in some cold water for a second, makes it a little bit easier to handle, just so they're not hot, and also it seems to help the feathers come off easier without messing up any of the meat. Little drill tool that I got off of Amazon, nothing too crazy. I want to say it was like $20, $25. Not gonna say it's the most efficient way to do it. Obviously, if you have, one of the drum pluckers, you can throw it 2 or 3 birds in there and knock them out in, 30 seconds or so. This is definitely a little more tedious, but overall I thought it did a really good job. We did 30 meat chickens pretty much by myself in about 6 hours. Okay, 6 hours is processing, bagging, getting them in the freezer, and going back through and doing all my video and stuff. So I've already done, I believe, almost all the chickens at this point. The hardest part on this was probably those little pin feathers on the tips of the wings. Just trying to be nice and thorough. You don't want to put too much pressure down because you can tear through the skin. Obviously not enough, and it's not going to pull the feathers off. Like I said, it's a little more tedious of a process, but I just tried to kind of take my time. Once you do a couple of them, you kind of get a process down, kind of know the way to go. I started usually on the belly of the chicken, go around. These are the broiler cross, and I'll be honest, they don't have a whole lot of feathers on the bottom side. And then after I get done with the drill tool, I just kind of go through and pluck those last couple of large feathers. Kind of hard to get to that with that little tool. Really doesn't matter because that's going to get that little tip of the wing's going to probably get cut off anyway. And that'll probably get put towards some dog snacks. We usually use the little tips of the wings and some of the feet for dog snacks, and they seem to love it. So we're going to take this bird over to the cleaning station now. As you can see, I got some of the gizzards already on there the inner layer hasn't been pulled off of those yet, but we'll get to that next. And rinse my hands off and get ready to do this. Not saying I'm the absolute best at this. After doing 28 birds, got a little bit better at it. Gonna go right in the joint for the top of the foot, cut both of those off, and then this one's got a little bit of the skin still left on it, so I want to clean that off. I don't know if it's just personal preference or not, but I just like it better when it's all cleaned off. It pulls off mildly easy, kind of gets stuck at the tip, but other than that, no big deal. We'll get those cleaned up afterwards. We'll throw those to the side in our little bucket, and then we're going to go ahead and go to the tips of the wings. We'll knock those off. Not really any meat or anything on that. Like I said earlier, that just kind of goes to some dog treats. I'm going to make a small incision right here at the top. Don't want to cut all the way through, just through the skin. And that's actually the first part of a chicken's stomach. These had a little bit more feed than what I planned on. Normally it's best to not have them fed that last day, so you don't have to worry about that. There's less in there. I'm going to cut that off. We can use that neck meat for some broth and some other stuff. Turn the chicken around. We'll take a little slice. And really, you're not having to cut a whole lot on this. You're just going to do a little bitty incision through the skin, pull the cavity open, and just want to make sure we get a good pull of everything that's on the inside. We're gonna get all the guts, all the good stuff out of there. Cut it at the very bottom. Make sure we get where that everything comes out at the backside. That'll go in our gut bucket, and then we're gonna make sure we rinse all this out really well. I try to go through and rinse it a couple of times, making sure I don't have any extra remnants like that. Get rid of anything that's inside of there, wash it out pretty well. This also is going to help cool the chicken down a little bit because I'm using cooler water. And then double check on the outside, see if there's any of those extra little pin feathers or anything like that we need to pull off, especially around those elbows, on those wings. And then once that's done, we got a nice little chicken ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and move that over to our cooler. I've got some ice waters they're going to soak in, and just to help drop the temperature on them a little bit. As you can see, we got our cooler already pretty full, and now we're going to go ahead and grab our second bird. Like I said, I do 2 at a time. It seems to work best for me. We'll go ahead and grab that second bird, and basically the same process. So I'm going to go ahead and dip it into our hot water. I like to use a set of tongs to be able to push it down, make sure it's fully submerged. As you can see, it only takes maybe 10-15 seconds at most. Check the skin on the feet, pulls off. We know that it's ready to go. And then we're going to move that over to our bucket of cooler water. Let it soak in there for just a couple of seconds. No big deal, nothing too long. Like I said, it just seems to help keep the skin together a little bit better with this tool. And then we're going to go ahead and fast forward this since we've already done it once. I really was pretty impressed with this tool. It wasn't anything crazy, but it was also really inexpensive, and I didn't feel like spending a couple of $100 on a drum that I was only going to use once or twice. Since this, we have went ahead and got another round of chickens. We have 35 more meat chickens that we just started raising up. I'm probably going to go 8 or 9 weeks on these. So that one's all defeathered, and we are ready to go back to our cleaning station. Same process again. I'm going to rinse it off a little bit, make sure it help cool it down a little bit, and also make it a little bit easier to clean. Cut it off right at the top of the feet. Spin it around, and cut the tips of the feathers off, or tips of the wings off. Doing our little treat bag, or treat box. Make a little slice here. Start pulling that out. We really just want to pull that out of the way and pull it up as much as you can. Try to stretch everything. That way you don't have any extra food that's going to get mixed in with your meat. Trying to keep it as clean and sanitary as possible. Spin it around. Make our little incision just below there. There we go. Pull it on open. Pull the guts out. And that's pretty much it. So I appreciate everybody for watching. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. Gonna try to get some more videos coming out. Got a lot of stuff coming out with some pigs and some more meat chickens. And we'll kind of see where it goes. This last part is I usually go back through and we pulled off our liver and gizzards and heart. Never done chicken heart before. It was okay. It was pretty close to liver, not quite the same. My favorite's the liver. The gizzard's not my favorite, but I'll eat it. It honestly was probably the best gizzard that I've ever had. Just probably mental because it was ours and seemed extremely fresh. But the gizzard was definitely a little different as far as cleaning. You got to make sure you get ours are grass-fed chickens, so there's a lot of grass and stuff in there that you have to cut and clean out, and then peeling that membrane off of the inner wall of the gizzard was a little bit of a pain, a little tedious, but definitely well worth it.